Are you a big lover of the movie The Secret? Are you a big lover of the law of attraction? Or are you interested in learning more about the law of attraction? Do you are you looking for a place where you can discuss the law of attraction with like-minded people? If so, you are in the right place because we are going to read and discuss the book The Secret. Welcome to my channel. I'm Love Fuller and I am here with a book club discussion video. This is our first book club discussion, and I decided to do it on The Secret. And the way this is going to work is that I'm actually recording this live over YouTube and over Facebook, but I'm going to record it for the most part as though I am not live, and because most people will watch these in the replay. So it doesn't matter what day, what year you end up watching this video, it will remain relevant because the law of attraction is never going to change. And having the opportunity for us to discuss with one another and comment back and forth with one another, that is still going to be available to us in the future. So although it's a live stream and I will be engaging with people in the live stream as well, most people will be watching in the video. Okay, so I just want to tell you a little bit about how I'm going to do this, conduct this session. We're going to do this for the next month, a 1 month long session. This month actually, to go from the 4th of the month to the 4th of the next month, that will be 5 weeks. And there are 22 chapters in this book. So going through 2 chapters this week, and then the rest of the other weeks we'll go over 1 chapter a day. Hi Pam, welcome to the live stream. I know that you are an avid fan of The Secret. Thanks for coming, and so am I. I don't know if you read the book, but you and also people in the comment section who are watching the video on the replay, have you ever read the book The Secret? I know many people have seen the film, like I have. I've seen the film many times. How about you? Have you watched the movie? Have you read the book? Let me know. Because of course, I mean, this kind of information is stuff that we like to review over and over, like to have people to discuss these ideas with. We might have questions and things like that. And so we're going to be going through those kinds of things in the discussion. So like I said, basically we're going to go over a chapter or every meeting, and we'll be meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will meet on Mondays and Wednesdays. I didn't look and see if there are any holidays coming up. Actually, there should be a holiday, a Martin Luther King holiday coming up, but I think it'll be all right. We'll just adjust from there if we need to adjust. Okay, so today, what I would like to read is a little bit of the jacket, the front jacket. Then I would like to go over to the foreword, which is written by Rhonda Byrne. And then I'd like to start with the first chapter called The Secret Revealed. Hi, our Mormon. So yes, so Pam and our Mormon both said they have seen the movie. So, and Pam has also read the book. She's reading it now along with us for the second time. So that's really good. I haven't even read this in advance of spending time with you, although I did look over it a little bit just now. And since there's no way for us, obviously we cannot read everything word for word. I think what I am going to do next time probably is like kind of take a look at it ahead of time, so that I won't just be kind of like completely blind, since I'm going to have to kind of skip around a little bit, and then we also want to have time for discussion. I plan for the discussion to be about an hour. I feel like since we're here, kind of late at night on Eastern Standard Time, starting at 8:30, let's try to end by 9:30. So that means that we're not going to, of course, cover every single word. There are going to be things in the chapter that we're going to kind of, skip over, but there's also going to be things that I read word for word. Hi, Alexis Kingdom. Welcome. Good to see you here. I know that you've seen the movie, and now we're going to be reading the book together. I know you're an avid practitioner of the law of attraction. Alexis Kingdom, she's my daughter. All right, so I just wanted to actually start on the front cover. I'm just going to jump in. It says, fragments of a great secret have been found in the oral traditions, in literature, in religions and philosophies throughout the centuries. For the first time, all of the pieces of the secret come together in an incredible revelation that will be life-transforming for all who experience it. So, like I said, I can't just read the book without stopping and making commentary for copyright purposes, and that's a great place for me to start. So it's so interesting that, you know, Rhonda Byrne is saying that fragments of the great secret have been found in these oral traditions and in the literature. And that's true when it comes to maybe traditional mainstream religion. But as I said in the introductory video to this, to the secret book discussion, many traditions have explicitly talked about this, and they're called like metaphysical traditions of these religions, and metaphysical writers and esoteric writers and people who practice the religion. So for example, in Christianity, I told you that there's a strand of Christianity that's a metaphysical, like we use a metaphysical interpretations, and the whole entire teaching teaches about the many universal spiritual laws that are in play. And there are many churches and organizations that I know of that are Christian, for sure, that I personally know of, or Christian based or based off of Western Christian traditions, that have been studying this all put together in one place and not just fragmented. What I do think that was revolutionary was that when she put it all together in this film, it was the first film, definitely in modern times, to make such a huge impact. And like she said that that it's an incredible revelation that will be life transforming for all who experience it. And I definitely think that that's the key. And I feel like her movie has made such a huge impression upon and an impact on the world because of that. In this book, you'll learn how to use the secret in every aspect of your life: money, health, relationships, happiness, and in every interaction you have in the world. That's fantastic. You'll begin to understand the hidden, untapped power that's within you. And this revelation can bring joy to every aspect of your life. I just love that, you know, when almost most of the teachers, most of the entire metaphysical tradition really talks about these wonderful aspects of life: love, joy, peace, wisdom, beauty, life, power, saying that this is available to all of us. These are the highest ideals in the universe, and that and the complete lifestyle of those wonderful like elements of life are available to us. And the secret, you know, the law of attraction, which the secret is, right, teaches us how to use it. Or how to access them. The secret contains wisdom from modern day teachers, men and women who have used it to achieve health, wealth, and happiness. By applying the knowledge of the secret, they bring to light compelling stories of eradicating disease, acquiring massive wealth, overcoming obstacles, and achieving what many would regard as impossible. And I feel like, you know, that wording there is so important because, you know, they're talking about like things that, the aspects of life that are so important to us, you know, eradicating disease, acquiring massive wealth, right? People want to be financially free. They want to have, you know, unlimited funds so that they can just feel like they have the freedom to pay for anything or buy access to anything that they might need. And of course, certainly the things that they want as well. People want to be able to overcome obstacles, right? Needs to be able to come over obstacles and make everyone, you know, most people want to make big achievements. So I think it's a grand promise, but I think that those of us who have been, you know, kind of practicing the secret and the law of attraction and have studied this and watched the film and stuff like that, we know that that's, I guess, you know, following that, going after that promise is really what why we're here. Foeward. So we're on page Roman numeral 9 and under the Foeward, where Rhonda Byrne talks about her story. And I think it's very interesting that this is the same kind of, this is the same story that she talks about in The Secret, once in the film. So she's going to tell us how the book came about. Normally, you know, traditionally books come about before the film, but she just, she made the movie first. And then, so we can end up seeing these quotes that people said live, you know, on the film have been transcribed into the book. So that's pretty cool. A year ago, my life had collapsed around me. I worked myself into exhaustion. My father died suddenly, and my relationships with my work colleagues and loved ones were in turmoil. Little did I know at the time, out of my greatest despair was to come the greatest gift. I'd been given a glimpse of a great secret, the secret to life. The glimpse came in a 100-year-old book given to me by my daughter, Haley. I began tracing the secret back through history. I couldn't believe the people who knew this. And she talks about, like, she lists these great people in history: Plato, Shakespeare, Newton, Hugo, Beethoven, Lincoln, Emerson, Edison, Einstein. And then she says that she asked, why doesn't everyone know this? A burning desire to share the secret with the world consumed me. And she began searching for people who are alive today who know the secret. And as we saw in the film, she found all of these wonderful people. But she tells us how that happened. She said that, one by one, these people began to emerge, and she felt like she became a magnet. That's something that I tend to hear. And I wonder if you have experienced that at all, that once you started to learn about the law of attraction, know about it, then you started to attract other people, meet other people, suddenly, started to hear about it and meet other people who believe in it and people you can have conversations with. I know for me personally, that absolutely happened, and that has changed my life. I would say that the vast majority, except for just a few people that I've met, like in my travels abroad, but for all the people that I really spend quality time with and I really know here, I've built so many relationships with people who believe in the law of attraction. So that's very interesting too, right? Like, what an interesting way to kind of build a group of people around you. But it's just like, it requires a different mindset, and living your life that way requires a different kind of vocabulary and different kind of discussions that you have with your friends. So you're not really having discussions about, gossip and, he said, she said, and these kinds of things, where mostly we're taking responsibility, realizing that the things that we're attracting into our lives or experiencing in our lives are things that we've attracted. So yeah, have you had that experience where you started, practicing the law of attraction or reading about it or learning about it, and you started to meet other people? If so, what kind of experience have you had with that? Are you still looking for communities? Because there are lots of communities out there, probably in every single town, or definitely every single city in the United States, and of course in other places in the world too, depending on where you're watching, from where you're watching this. But actually there are people all over. It's just a matter of, tuning into them and tuning into them with your vibration or just Googling them, right? All right. So yeah, so she just talks about that, she was able to attract all of these people, and that on the next page, in the third paragraph, she says, we did not have a single teacher secured to film, but we knew the secret. And so with utter faith, I flew from Australia to the United States, where the majority of teachers were based. So 7 weeks later, the secret team had filmed 55 of the greatest teachers across the United States with over 120 hours of film. And what a wonderful, exciting time that must have been, especially those of us, who are here, who are YouTubers and thinking about oh, I had this idea, and then boom, it became this really huge thing. So of course, it's, the film swept the world. And she says, as it swept the world, stories of miracles began to flood in. People wrote about healing from chronic pain, depression, and disease, walking for the first time after an accident, even recovering from a deathbed. She says that they've received thousands of accounts of the secret being used to bring about large sums of money and unexpected checks in the mail. So they don't spend that much time necessarily talking about healing, physical healing, but that is definitely the cornerstone to at least the modern New Thought metaphysical tradition, like this idea that anything that is happening in our lives that is out of the flow needs healing, and any ideas that we have in our minds can show up as disharmony and dis-ease, right, in any section of our lives, including in our bodies. So obviously we need our bodies to live, and so the most important thing is like any, we all always know that if something is wrong with your body, that is the most important thing. So it's poignant that she starts here with that people healed their chronic diseases. And I mean, I know me personally, people who have exercised that practice like in huge huge ways. I know that in my life I have experienced healing through using the law of attraction, prayer. We'll talk about as we go along how prayer and the law of attraction are basically synonyms. With prayer with faith, right? Having faith in your prayer, right? Asking in faith is similar, is what you need to do to exercise the law of attraction. Ask or declare, believing that what you're asking for is happening, is coming to fruition. Faith is faith. And so I experienced healings. I've experienced and I know many people who have experienced big healings like that as well. Mine, I wouldn't say necessarily as big, but a couple of things were with my daughter's health, just appearances. I mean, I'm not saying that, the thing is, like, if it wasn't any ideas that are not of good, of not of health, or not of wholeness, then they are not really real. They're just temporal. They're kind of like they're like false evidence appearing real, like fear, right? It seems so real, but it's not really there when you kind of like really look at it. And so the law of attraction and The Secret talks about this idea that whatever we experience, whatever we think about, is we're going to experience. And so whatever we believe. So it behooves us to believe that the universe is a good, loving, kind universe, that the nature of the universe is good, and that anything that is not, the nature of God is good, but anything that is not like that is not real. It's not truth. Is not powerful. And so it's like, like superheroes, where the good guy prevails. The good guy always wins. And so in this kind of law of attraction thing, it's like, the good guy is more powerful. Like positive thought is more powerful than a negative thought. So the good guy always wins. And so we're here to, know that in our lives. And when we do that, know that for ourselves, that there's only really good, then anything else dissolves. So that's what healing is, right? It just dissolves, and the good that you are knowing to be true and to be real, that is what shows up. So I know I was like, getting a little deep, but this is the thing. It's like, I'm definitely here for a deep discussion. So let's go for it. All right. So I'm kind of jumping over to, I think it's important to talk about the kinds of things that she says that people have experienced. So on the next page, on the forward, page 11, Roman numeral 11, people have used The Secret to manifest their perfect life partners, cars, jobs, and promotions, with many accounts and businesses being transformed within days of applying The Secret. I can attest to having manifested my perfect home. Well, it's a perfect first home. My perfect home. My life partner. He's not perfect, but he's amazing. My life partner, cars, jobs, promotions. I can't say in particular that I manifested promotions. I don't think I ever asked for a promotion. But moving on up in life for sure. And it says many accounts of businesses being transformed within days of applying the secret. So I haven't had my business transformed, but I look forward to that. I need to ask for that, right? There have been heartwarming stories of stressed relationships involving children being restored to harmony. So I know that in the comment section, I said that my daughter was here, and so we definitely ask for, pray for, visualize perfect harmony in our relationships with each other and with others. And so, this is what we're talking about. These are the words we say: perfect harmony. Some of the most magnificent stories we have received come from children using the secret to attract what they want, including high grades and friends. The secret has inspired doctors to share their knowledge with their patients, right? Doctors will say, listen, believe that you can be healed. Believe that you're going to be healed and you'll be healed. There are lots of traditions that don't tell people when they're going to pass away, when it's things are really terrible or things are going to pass away terrible. They look like the person's going to pass away. A lot of traditions, they don't believe in telling the person that, because they're like, listen, it might be all that I can do, but I can't say to this person that they're going to die, because all things are possible. So I'm not going to plant that seed in their minds. But definitely different doctors have different ways of thinking about that. So I just want to finish reading those parts. Okay, so universities and schools have inspired. Universities and schools have shared this information with their students. Health clubs have shared it with their clients. Churches of all denominations and spiritual centers with their congregations. And I think that is a discussion that I tend to see come up, like in my law of attraction videos. People will ask me, we'll talk about, comment, and debate the idea of how, when they don't understand how that aligns with God and traditional religion and Jesus, and even lines up with the other religions. Like, I'm just saying that because this is most of my people are American. But it even lines up with the other traditions. But it's just like this. The same way that you can believe in the law of gravity and still believe in this God, and this God, right? Who we know is the creator of the law. I mean, if you're a believer, that that God is the creator of the law of gravity, right? So the law of aerodynamics, it's just that the secret, or the law of attraction, is just basically a series of different universal laws that science has yet to discover. But it's just a universal law, a law that works on this earth plane the same way that gravity works here on this earth plane. So, and also, for the most part, the law of attraction will still work on the universal plane as far as we know, because if someone is out of the orbit of Earth, they still, the law of attraction, you're still using your mind power, even though you're walking on the moon, as far as we know, right? As far as we know. So, yeah, one thing doesn't mean, like believing in the law of aerodynamics, believing in the law of gravity, believing in the law of attraction, right? And using them, to your advantage to live your best life, does not mean, it doesn't have anything to do with not believing in God. When you realize it, I understand that it can feel that way if you don't kind of see how they connect. But there's so many traditions, so much information out there that talks about how it connects. I don't know if Pam is still there, but I know that you probably know very well how traditional churches in your area might be teaching about the law of attraction, but yet and still teaching the Bible, teaching the love of Jesus, right? Because Jesus, there's so many ways that we can see that Jesus taught about the law of attraction. Okay, so my intention in creating The Secret was and still is, what time is it? Do a time check. Yeah, oh my gosh. I got nowhere. I've only gotten through this, through the foreword. So that's good. We'll start with chapter 1 next time. So she says, my intention in creating The Secret. Oh, no. We still have 30 more minutes. Yeah, we have 35 minutes. She says, my intention in creating The Secret was and still is that it will bring joy to billions around the world. What a powerful affirmation. What a powerful intention that it will bring joy to billions. I mean, what a message, it's a joyous message. That is fantastic. That's a ministry. That's a ministry to have an intention to bring joy to billions. And I know that I can talk like very religiously by saying words like ministry and talking about Jesus and talking about the different, religions. The one I know most about would be Christianity, right? So I can't talk that much about, how, where the different laws of attraction are show up in the other kinds of scriptures. But I am pretty familiar with the Christian scriptures and how it shows up. So that's kind of what I will talk about. But I also know that just like you can talk about the law of gravity without talking about God or religion, right? You can talk about the law of attraction without talking about without God or religion. It still applies whether you believe in God or not, right? Whether you believe in God or not, the law of attraction or have a religion or don't believe in religion or are spiritual but not religious, any of those things, although they're going to interconnect, if you are a believer, it's going to interconnect. But if you're not a believer, you can just leave that part out. You can practice the law of attraction. Just know that, the power is in using it for good, right? There's, like I said before, that, with good intentions, loving intentions, and these, love and goodness and kindness, these are attributes that transcend religion, that intersect in multiple religions, right? These are just life principles that we understand to be good. And whatsoever things are of good report, think on those things, right? The law of attraction is saying, hey, whatever's good, focus on that. And like I just said, multiple scriptures will say the same things. All right, so Pam says that, yeah, she's still here and she agrees about the fact that you can experience both your religion and your love for your religion and your devotion to it, and also experience universal spiritual laws as well. So in here she says that 24 amazing teachers are featured in this book, and their words were filmed all over the United States at different times, yet they speak as one voice. That is so powerful. I was just reading in Ernest Holmes' The Science of Mind. So Ernest Holmes is a metaphysical spiritual teacher, and he really connects a lot of the great writers that she mentions here, poets, writers, the scriptures, the words of Jesus, some information about Buddha. He really connects these things along with spiritual principles, and talks about how the power of your mind is also connected with your spirituality. So, no matter what religion, although he, like I said, he comes from a Christian tradition, so he talks much more about the Bible. But I brought that up to say what? Oh, that they speak as one voice. That in the book, he talks about how that's one thing about mystics. Mystics from all traditions, from all backgrounds. When you look at the teachings of mystics, they all will say the same thing. They'll all say that you have to have a relationship. That this universe is alive. That there's a spirit behind this universe, and that you have to have a relationship to have, peace and abiding. Well, yeah, to have peace and abiding love. You want to have a relationship, a symbiosis with the energy, the spirit of the universe, be in harmony with it, right? In order to live your best life. So you have other modern teachers of the law of attraction who talk about being in harmony with the vibration. One particular one is Abraham, Esther Hicks, Abraham and Esther Hicks. And it's very kind of controversial the way that she comes with, it can be controversial the way she comes up with her wisdom, but, and, with the whole Abraham thing, but it's wisdom nevertheless when it comes to being in alignment with the law of attraction. So she's saying, just you want to keep your vibration. She talks about keeping your energy, your vibration, vibrating at a high level, at a level of, of joy, of peace, empowerment, where you're vibrating faster. We're talking about like, energy, vibratory energy is vibrating faster as opposed to like a lower, slower, more negative, energy. Keep your energy in the flow of the good of the universe. So different teachers are saying these things all in different ways, and that's what she just says, yet they speak as one voice. This book contains the secret teacher's words, and it also contains miraculous stories of the secret in action. I have shared all of these easy paths, tips, and shortcuts that I have learned so that you can live the life of your dreams. I mean, that is what I say all the time. And I feel like it sounds so like cliche that I'm always saying like, I'm gonna live the life of my dreams. I am, working every single day to be the best person I can be so I can live the life of my dreams. It sounds so cliche because I'm like saying it all the time. But the thing is like, we all have a life of our dreams. We all have the capacity to dream. I mean, we all dream. I'm sure we all dream. We all have dreams. We have hopes and aspirations. Certainly, okay, circumstances in life can kind of snuff those out, beliefs, but they're all going to be based off of beliefs that we have about ourselves and about the world. And if we want to wake up and be able to live our dreams, so first to dream the big dream, we just need to just open our minds and our hearts to believing that it's possible for us, and to training our minds to understand, how living all my dreams is possible for me, and that it's possible for me. So I feel like that is the work. Like we learn about the secret, the law of attraction, and the way to think, and then the work is practicing it. Changing the way that we're thinking every single day, changing the way that we are talking, changing the way that we are interacting with people. And believe me, they say it's simple, but maybe not easy. I mean, just keeping it real. Okay, so she says, you will notice that throughout the book and in certain places, I have capitalized the word you. The reason I did this is because I want you, the reader, to feel and know that I created the book for you. I'm speaking to you personally when I say you. My intention is for you to feel a personal connection with these pages because the secret has been created for you. Okay, so I think that that's beautiful, that she's like taking the time to stop and say, listen, this is not just words on a paper. Take this and, have a personal connection with it. This is for you, dear sweetheart. This is for you. This is for your glory, for your good, for your joy, for your peace, for your happiness, for your abundance, for your dream life, right? And to a similar kind of discussion, I find that sometimes when there's a powerful teaching or a powerful word in a book and they're saying it in the you, I find it so powerful to change it and speak to myself, speak to my heart, and say it in the I. So at some points throughout the book, I will, transpose. I don't know how what the word really, but they transpose the words from you to I, so that we can say it in the first person and accept it for ourselves. Speaking in the first person is very powerful. It's sometimes requires us to be vulnerable. It but it also can touch our hearts, and what we are looking for when we're working to create something new and better in our lives is to have the feeling, touch us in our feelings, have the feeling vibration that goes along with any good thing that we're asking for. We want to feel the good thing. We want to feel good. So I think sometimes saying these powerful affirmations, or saying these powerful messages to ourselves, to myself in the first person, helps really drive that kind of home. Okay, so let's jump. We have 24 minutes. Let's jump to The Secret Revealed. We're on page 1. On page 1, 2, and 3, I did take a look at this, and I see that on page 1, 2, and 3, they basically introduce the major contributors to the book. So they just list them here, and they give their titles, their names, their titles, and a quote about, like one of the, I guess, their best quotes that they selected, or the editor selected to represent that teacher. So you can definitely read that on your own on pages 1 through the top of 3 in the book. But what I would like to do is I would like to jump to the end of chapter 1, The Secret Revealed, where, just for a second, I just want to jump there. We're going to go back. But if we go to page 25, on page 25, there is a summary, the secret summaries. Secret summaries. So every chapter, at the end of every chapter, there are summaries. So I think that, remember when you were in school and they were saying, like, they would say to you, well, first of all, for reading comprehension, read the summary first, right? Also, for when you're doing reading comprehension questions, they tell you to read the questions first so that you can have in your mind, kind of know the direction that you're headed. I think that is so powerful, because with The Secret, what we're doing is we are envisioning the end, what end we have in mind, right? We are visualizing it. We are speaking it, like saying the end goal of what it is that we're looking for. And so it makes sense for us to read The Secret in that way. So I want to read the summary on page 25. Okay, so summarizing what we're going to read about in the chapter. The great secret of life is the law of attraction. So the question is going to be, what is the secret? The answer is going to be the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction is simplifying it. Let me take some water. There are many interrelated universal spiritual laws. You might have heard of, like, the law of compensation, the law of no, I can't think of any laws. Supply, the law of can't think of any other ones right now. If you know of any other laws, you can put that in the comment section, because I can't think of any right now. But there are other universal spiritual laws that are interrelated with the law of attraction. So it's basically a good way to, one word you can use to summarize them is the law of attraction. Okay, so the great secret of life is the law of attraction. And I agree. The law of attraction says like attracts like. So when you think a thought, you are also to you. So we practice it in the outgoing, like in the like creating something. But we also have to recognize it in the creation. So when something amazing has shown up in your life. You can say, I attracted that, right? One amazing relationship with amazing, thank you, Pam, right? The law of giving and receiving. When something fantastic shows up that just makes our heart light up and just vibes with us so well, that means we've attracted into our lives. And at the same time, and and a lot of times you hear people say, I manifested this, honey, I manifested that. And at the same time, it's very important and powerful to understand and realize that if there's something that is negative, that feels bad, that makes you feel sad, that's upsetting, that's scary, that shows up in your life, you've attracted that also. A lot of times people want to reject that. And they'll say that's, I didn't attract that. I wasn't thinking about that. It's like attracts like. So you were thinking things like that or believing things like that. And it shows up in these different characters and experiences in your body, life, world affairs, and experiences. The good and the so-called good and the so-called bad. It's all good. And that's the good thing. That's the powerful thing. That's why it's powerful to recognize that I'm attracting the fantastic things, but also the not fantastic things. The reason it's powerful is because that means I can change it. I have the power to change it. I'm not subject to someone else's or the world. I'm not subject to someone else's or something else's will, right? Because I'm empowered. Because if I created the good and I can create the good, and if I created the not so good, if I created what feels bad, what might look to me as bad, then I can uncreate it. I can change it. I can change it, transform it to good. I have that power. I'm not a victim. This is an empowering teaching when we look at that shadow side of things. It's an empowering teaching when we don't look at the shadow side. But when the shadow side shows up, we don't want them to keep coming. If we're thinking thoughts that we're not aware of habitually, and we keep seeing the same characters show up in our lives to use us, to hurt us, or to do unseemly things, or we keep experiencing the same circumstances. I keep being broke, I keep getting or I keep getting fired, or whatever it is. I keep getting bad neighbors. Because we're having these habitual beliefs and habitual thoughts that are running, they're habitually creating these things, right? So often you see people have these patterns, both positive and negative, because these are habitual. Our thoughts that are running subconsciously. So when we bring those ideas from the subconscious mind up to our conscious mind, to our conscious awareness, to say, look what I'm creating. And we have the opportunity to say, I'm going to change that thought. And train myself to think a new thoughts about it, then my life will change. And this is the secret. This is the joy, that I change my thoughts and I attract like thoughts. When I think a thought, then I'm also attracting like thoughts and experiences and people and effects of my body to me. Thoughts are magnetic, and thoughts have a frequency. As you think thoughts, they are sent out into the universe, and they magnetically attract all like things that are on the same frequency. Everything sent out returns to the source, you. So it's like a boomerang. You throw out this thought, you're saying something nasty about that lady. Oh my God, let me tell you something. I have confessions to make, y'all. Literally, it's not funny. It's crazy. So I remember, like, when I was in junior high school, I think it was, and there's this body shape that has to do with like the shape of thighs. And a lot of times athletic people have that, the shape of the thigh that I did not like, right? And I was just like, oh, I'm glad I don't have that. I'm glad I don't have that shape of that thigh. I'm glad I don't have that shape of that thigh. Well, guess what? I got that shape of the thigh. Then how, like, literally, like, I'm trying to keep it real, y'all. Then how, like, people have like extra fat, like in the front, and it looks like a butt in the front. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have anything like that. I'm not having anything like that. Oh, I'm glad I don't have that. Oh, yeah. Well, I might not do, but I'm glad I don't have that. I'm not gonna claim I have that, y'all, but something looked like it that seriously, I might. All right. And I had one more, but I can't think of it right now because, child, I mean, that was crazy for me to have said that. But it's true. It's true. I mean, you got to tell the truth and keep it real. So yeah, everything you send out, any thought you think about someone, words you say about somebody, whatever, it comes back to me in some kind of way or another. Oh, another one I used to say, oh my goodness, this was terrible. I used to get so frustrated with my mom and my sweet daughter who was a little tiny child. So I don't even know what I was thinking. I used to be like, yo, you guys are so slow. Why do you move so slowly? Why do you do everything so slowly? Come on, can you speed it up? Let's go, let's go. Like, I don't know what I was racing to, what I was rushing for, but guess what? Guess who is the slowest chick in the pack now? I'm like, it takes me I'm not claiming that. I'm not claiming it, but I'm saying in the past several years it has appeared to be that I'm the slow. I've been like, I manifested being slow because I was talking so much mess about other people. Yes. Pam says, yes, we have to be careful with our words. Yes. Amen. All right. You are like a human transmission tower, transmitting a frequency with your thoughts. If you want to change anything in your life, change the frequency by changing your thoughts. Just change the frequency, change the dial. Your current thoughts are creating your future life. Your current thoughts are creating your future life. What you think about the most or focus on the most will appear in your life. And that is why we have to get rid of fear mentality. We have to get away from fear mongering, fear thinking, things that in reading, experiencing, even if it's the news, things that instill fear in us. That say, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. And look at what people are doing. And this is that the world is going crazy. Things are getting so bad. Oh no, did you see what happened? How this person got robbed and they got whatever. If it is instilling fear in you, or if you're saying it to someone else and instilling fear in them, we have to get away from these things because our thoughts are creating our experiences. What you think about the most, I know this precious woman. She had been looking to get pregnant for a lot of years. And when she did get pregnant, she was like, she was so happy. She was happy. But she was like, I'm not going to really talk about it. I'm not going to tell anybody, really tell about it. And I'm definitely, I'm going to tell certain people, and I'm definitely not going to, like tell anybody the name or anything like that until I get past the miscarriage stage. Now, she'd never had a miscarriage before. She just had never gotten pregnant. But she was just like, I'm not going to, she was this tense, and she had a miscarriage. That's just an example. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that this is what happens. I'm just saying this idea of like whatever we fear, we can attract. So I'm not, saying that she did something wrong, something terrible. She did end up getting pregnant again. She has a beautiful baby girl. She I don't know at what point she told people that she was pregnant, but it wasn't the shroud of secrecy. So I don't know what changed with her, like why she changed her mind or what happened why she did it differently the second time, but she did, and she has a bouncing baby girl. Yep. So change your thoughts, change your life, and believe that you can change them, and you're going to change your experience. Then believe, and you shall receive. Your thoughts become things. Thoughts become things on the physical plane. So there are explanations that kind of talk about, how that comes about. But basically, a quick explanation is that we think, like in terms of like the way I've seen it explained and like understood how it works, we think thoughts consciously about we think thoughts consciously, and we have beliefs our habitual thoughts kind of gel into beliefs. And so it's like, okay, I think when you're young, not you, but a lot of times women have experiences where it's like, oh, you have young, beautiful young love and wonderful experiences. And then after a while, you start to think that, oh, men are no good. Yeah, I don't know. I have the example. This is men are no good. And that example, men are no good. And that example, men are no good. Until you think it so much, you create a belief that men are no good. And then once you have this belief that's in your subconscious mind, it's like running your subconscious mind. You're not even aware any of it anymore, or necessarily that you just are kind of thinking that all the time. And then you're going to attract experiences that men are no good in your physical world. It becomes a thing. It shows up as this man, and that man to prove what you believe, right? Like attracts like. It's gonna, you're gonna attract an opportunity to prove what you believe, because this is what you created. It's like you're a genie, and you said, the genie says, your wish is my command, and you said, men are no good, and then that's what shows up. So I literally had to change my belief about something, about that. Not men are no good, but I'm like, to believe that a beautiful, perfect, like a wonderful relationships could exist. I was seeing so many, so much negativity in relationships. And I was like, maybe, a great relationships, can exist. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that I started to realize that I was in jeopardy of thinking that, not believing that the perfect relationship, the wonderful relationship, could be out there for me. I was in jeopardy of it. And I really had to work on my beliefs. And how did I do that? I purposely sought out wonderful love stories. Like, I love love. It was important to me. And I was like, I need to believe in love. I need to believe that people can have long lasting marriages that are solid. And so I sought out like great, I did examples of great relationships. I would like, listen, like I had this, we had these cousins, older cousins, maybe I think they're in their 70s, 80s now or whatever, but they had this beautiful love story. And I used to be like, I want to hear the love story. I can literally name my aunts and uncles who have had these beautiful love stories. I can name my cousins who have beautiful love stories. I'm like, still to this day, if you have a new love and you want to just brag on your love and be like, oh, he said this and he did this, and what if it this and oh my gosh, that, and da, 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 da. I'm here for it. I want to hear it. Like, just rain all the good love story on me, because I still want to build my consciousness to believe that great love exists. Yeah, I just want to just bury myself. Just like, I don't know, bury myself, but you know what I mean? Just like rub myself all in the good love. We have 7 minutes, y'all. 7 minutes. Okay, so let's get into this section. Okay, so what is the secret? Page 3. Take a sip. But yeah, I mean, anybody in the comment section, of course, you feel free, anyone who's in the chat, but in the future, when you're watching this replay, let us know. Share any stories that you've had that from yourself or other people related to the law of attraction, related to any of these stories that we talked about today. We'd love to hear your stories. Both of course, you always want to hear the positive things, but like when we experience the things that are not so positive, like I had a bad marriage before. At the end of that marriage, I was like, listen, I want to have love, and I'm realizing what I'm believing about relationships, and I have to change that. So I literally went about my business to change it, my mindset about it, and seek out great examples and that I can believe in. All right. So Bob Proctor says talks about what's the secret. On the last, line on page 3, he answers it. He says, one law, it's attraction. So the law of attraction is the secret. Going to page 4, They talk again about the greatest teachers who have ever lived have told us that the law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe. And they talk about these great teachers that these names have stood the test of time. Their wisdom has, and their creativity has stood the test of time to the point where we still know their names today. So poets like William Shakespeare, Robert Browning, and William Blake, musicians like Beethoven, artists like Leonardo da Vinci, great thinkers that include Socrates, Plato, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Pythagoras, Bacon, Newton, Van Gogh, and Victor Hugo. They shared it in their writings and their teachings. Their names have been immortalized, and their legendary existence has survived centuries, right? Because this wisdom is just so profound. It's so life-changing, like Rhonda Byrne said in the Foeward. Religions such as Hinduism, and that is the religion I was trying to think of the name of in the previous video, in the introduction video. Religions such as Hinduism, Hermetic traditions, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and civilizations such as the ancient Babylonians and Egyptians, they delivered this message through their writings and stories. Absolutely. Recorded throughout the ages in all its forms, the law of attraction can be found in ancient writings throughout all the centuries. It was recorded in stone in 3000 BC. And even though some coveted this knowledge, and indeed they did, it has always been there. It has always been there for anyone to discover. It's been there from the beginning of time, it says. And they talk about how the law of attraction determines the complete order in the universe. Every moment of your life. So we definitely know, like on this physical earth plane, every moment of your life, every single thing you experience in your life, doesn't matter who you are or where you are, the law of attraction is forming your entire life experience. And this all-powerful law is doing that through your thoughts. You are the one who calls the law of attraction into action, and you do it through your thoughts. Now, people very often will talk about the fact that, okay, babies can't attract this to themselves. So, you know, how does that work? So that's always a really good question, right? Like, are babies doing this? Are they even thinking consciously? Like, if something bad happens to them? So that's when people start talking about like past lives and, you know, we don't know all the answers to everything in the universe. So there's that. So the ancient Babylonians had their great prosperity and having been well documented by scholars. So these are just people from all over the universe, the world and throughout time. On page 6, we have 2 minutes left. On page 6, it says, people who have drawn wealth into their lives use the secret, whether consciously or unconsciously. And I think that this book is really well known for people looking to experience material wealth. The thing is that this book has attracted the masses, right? It's just like, it's like has a universal attraction. And you know what? Having a wealthy, prosperous lifestyle of beauty, joy, and abundance is a universal concept. And wealth, this idea of wealth, I mean, the society that we live in has made us think that think that the way for us to get our things is through financial wealth. And so in practicing the secret, they're saying, feel free to ask for that. Certainly, when people have a lot of money, they find that there are more important things in life. They're happy they have the money, they're grateful for that, but then they continue to go deeper. So for what I understand, the criticism that people say that the secret is very materialistic, I say let people check that off of their box, so they can feel, financially prosperous, and then they will go deeper. People are going to go deeper, right? Because we always find out that money is not the beyond and end all. Money can't buy you love, happiness, joy, peace, right? So once you learn the secret and you've practiced it with attracting money or relationships or whatever, a new house, whatever great good that you want, then you can continue using it to making great strides in all other areas of your life. Okay, so we are at 9:30, and thank you so much for watching and for coming. And I will be back here on Wednesday, and we will start around page 6, page 7. next week, next time I would like to try to get through the rest of this chapter, The Secret Revealed, not next week, on Wednesday. I would like to get through this chapter, The Secret Revealed. And so definitely, if you are watching this on the replay or on live right now, if you read ahead, through the end of this chapter, that's fine. You make any comments or anything that jumps out at you, we can have this discussion like that. If not, as you can see, I will definitely talk myself. In the meantime, check out my other videos about the law of attraction and my experience with the law of attraction. And I will put those in the description box below. So that's it, folks. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks for having this great discussion with me. It's my favorite topic, as you might be able to tell. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you join me for more law of attraction videos. So please click the subscribe button. I'm Love. This channel is Live Fuller with Love Fuller. And now you know why I'm saying you gotta live fuller, honey. Live our best lives. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for joining all of the people in the live chat or who are viewing this live. I will see you next time. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Ciao, friends.